The 20th century was an interesting time period. There were a number of inventions and innovations which sparked art movements such as Futurism, Surrealism, and Expressionism. There was a new higher level of thinking and increased imagination during this time period. People began to think out of the box and reach for the stars. 1908 was a big year of the evolvement of society. One explorer named Dr. Frederick Albert Cook set out to find the North Pole. He claimed he did, and he embarked with a team of 9 people, 11 sledges, and 103 dogs. In the 20th century, there were a ton of innovations and breakthroughs. 2 things that made a huge leap were planes and cars. The Wright brothers were able to finally fly with a passenger, and his name was Charles Furnace. To think that we are still using cars and planes as transportation is amazing. In the same year, Henry Ford introduced the first Model T. With all these breakthroughs, people began to imagine all kinds of things and would use future aspects in their art. They realized that they were living in the future and that even more new things were coming. There was also an automobile race from New York to Paris. 6 teams competed in the race, which started on February 12th, and on July 30th, America crossed the finish line. The second team didn't come in for another 26 days, and half of the teams didn't even finish the race. During the 20th century, there were many military aspects which led to art movements as well. 1908 was not as action-packed as some of the later years, but President Roosevelt's naval ships, also known as the Great White Fleet, did have a few journeys and helped out Australia. The 20th century also had some famous presidents, and in 1908, President Taft became the new president. There are always disasters and setbacks that countries encounter and later reflect on. And this year, one of America's most devastating tornadoes hit Louisiana and Mississippi. This tornado left 143 people dead and another 770 injured. All the things a country goes through influences art and their art movements. For the most part, in 1908, it was a time of enlightenment and excitement. It was the beginning of the future, and the sky was the limit. People fantasized about what the future had in store and were ready for all of the changes to society.